Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for look at all you guys patiently waiting in chat. Luigi, Dirt, Aegis, what's up, Rod? It's a Luigi. Kimball, Dirt, all you guys. So we're actually kind of limited on time tonight. What's up, Sport Brand? So I'm gonna go ahead and play the little cheesy intro track, and then we're gonna get started with a very special guest. So hang tight. Okay, the viewer submitted intro track. Nothing gets better than that, man. Anybody else, if you got one to submit to, bring it on up. I'll play anything. I have zero standards. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with actually somebody that I look up to quite a bit. So you probably already see in the title, but Mr. Rob Pincus, welcome.
Man, I gotta tell you, your audio is incredibly distorted coming through on my end.
Is it really?
I may have to jump out and jump back in.
Yeah, try that real quick. Jump out and jump back in and see if that helps. Dang. Great way to forget about it. Great way to stop the show. Let's see. Kimball C&T, I want to ride. 9mm Slim. Skip Green. Come out in PLA. Come out in PLA. What's up? How is it now?
Nope.
Still? Okay, hang on.
That is really odd. It sounds like you're talking about 1/3 speed.
Really? What about now?
Yeah, really. It sounds like you're talking, which is incredibly weird. I don't think we can do an
That's
interview
so
like that.
crazy. Yeah, no, that just won't work.
That's so weird.
Well, guys,
I'm
this
gonna
is
try
what
one more
Rob
time.
Pincus looks like. Dang. He said take two. Come out in PLA. The coolest name in the world. Hold on one sec. Let me try something. Okay, what about now?
Oh man, that's perfect.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, that was like the weirdest distortion I've ever heard.
That's crazy. Well,
But here we
easy
are.
fix. Yeah. Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on? I'm
At
kidding.
least twice. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Rob Pincus, you may not know this. Well, let's start. Let everyone know who you are, what you do, where they can find you, and all that good stuff.
I'm all over the internet. I've been there for a long time. I've been doing this since before the internet. 300 baud modem, dial-up style, bulletin board systems, talking about guns. Obviously, back then, as definitely 100% student. Now it's I don't know, 50-50 maybe student and teacher. For the last 21 years, full time, I've been an educator in the firearms space. I do a lot of marketing stuff as well, some product development, and kind of my latest thing I do is help run the gun makers match. I know we're going to be talking about that. The private gun making thing is incredibly important. I'm the executive vice president of Second Amendment Organization, and I run the Personal Defense Network.
Woo, man, that is a mouthful. And I definitely want to hit the what's up, Putang? Definitely want to hit the gun makers match. Why don't you let everyone know with that? Most of our folks here are builders, right? But let everyone that may not know what it is and where it is.
Yeah, so my original kind of experiment, I guess, with like 80% type stuff. I always usually do the air quotes 80% lower. That marketing term was all the way back in the 90s. But I did it. It was fun. Move on. But I've done a lot of building and a lot of like gunsmithing and stuff like that. The whole built not bought, meaning what it did 10 years ago was to buy a strip blower, or buy a frame, or kind of take like even going back into the 90s, a 1911 frame, and then putting all the aftermarket parts in the world with the filing and sort of even some machining that was necessary to do that. So I've always been a little bit of a hobbyist on that building side, one way or another. But it wasn't until 2019 that I really got much more heavily into it, and all the way into including the whole 3D printing thing. And when I got into it big. I spent a lot of time doing it, a lot of time experimenting, doing different things. Moving into about a year ago, a little over a year ago, we announced that we were going to run a match for people who privately made their own guns. And when I say we, I mean Guns for Everyone National, the Aussie group, the Are We Cool Yet group, and myself coming in with Second Amendment organization. We decided this was something that, the Second Amendment community needed, the gun community needed, and especially the builder community needed to legitimize, normalize, popularize all those eyes words that we use to get more people building guns and more people understanding that nefarious ghost gun term is kind of BS. We need to move past people being afraid of privately making guns just because more people are doing it. In fact, we need even more people to do it so that it's that much more normal. And that's what started the Gun Makers Match idea. So we ran a big event in June of last year down in Florida. We've run several smaller regional events since then. We also now, backed by Firearms Policy Coalition, do these gun building educational days, which you had the opportunity to witness up in Pennsylvania right before Christmas. And now we've got coming up, we've got the second annual Big Gun Makers Match event, also down in Florida, is going to be happening in St. Augustine on March 19th.
Yeah, and I actually know several individuals that are eager to for that day to come.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's been a big build up, and I know we've got a lot of people signed up, obviously, to compete. We got people coming down to watch. We've got some great companies sponsoring the event, so it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, and I wasn't under the impression that, so this has only been going on, the Gunmakers Match, since 2019.
Well, no, the Gunmakers Match technically is less than a year old. I mean, it's as an event we announced it. I guess we announced it in February of last year, but the first annual event was in June. So it really just happened less than a year ago, and now we've planned the second one for March. But it's been something that I think so many people have talked about it, and it got so much exposure. And whether people were skeptical or people were excited last year, people have been talking about it a lot longer than it seemed. Or seems like people have been talking about it a lot longer than they really have. Because this is only our second annual event, and it's actually happening less than a year after the first one.
Wow, that's crazy. I don't know why. I just, in my head, Gun Doctor TV says that he's going to be there. I know Mr.
Awesome.
Snow, a couple other folks. Swamp Dog is going to be there. If I could be there myself, I would too. But yeah, it's interesting. The whole world kind of did go from assembly to building, right? And from like assembling an AR. Now, granted, a 1911, like you mentioned, you're going to be doing a lot more fitting, a lot more fit and finish work to put some of those together. But because building has become what it is today, how popular it's become, how much more simple compared to like a slam fire shotgun and the
Right.
those kinds of things. It's become more popular, more normalized. These events, like, man, I could not even explain like what it felt like to be there, educating and seeing you and 2A 3D print and helping educate people on building their first firearm. Like, that was incredible. And you actually had an interaction with a police officer during that time. Talk about that.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. It was. I think it's on YouTube. I know it was put out on social media, a couple different places. But we were actually filming something else. So someone had my phone and they were taping me doing something. I think we were showing off how Matt Holmes, you mentioned 2A 3D print, how his guide for drilling the holes in the Polymer 80 type kits, how his guide works. I think that's what we were videoing.
Yeah.
And a police officer came around the corner and just kind of stopped, and we had set the table up on purpose right in front of these big doors so that everybody coming into the Oaks Holiday Gun Show could see what we were doing and hopefully get enticed to come in and check it out. Well, sure enough, this police officer was enticed, and he came in and he looked at me and he said, "Well, what are you guys up to?" And I looked at him and I said, "We're building guns. You should build one." And he kind of he looked at, he clearly knew he was being recorded. He saw the video, the phone pointed at him, videoing, and then we had just like a short interaction. But what's funny about it is it played out a lot further than that, because he obviously thought it was kind of cool or interesting, but there was no way he was like, on video going to start building a gun or whatever until he maybe talked about it a little bit more. He throughout the day, because he was actually working the gun show as an off-duty, security job. We talked a lot, and he was Chairman Juan talked to him about the 3D printing side. I talked to him about the kits. We had a really good interaction with him and several of the other police officers that were there that day. So, I'm one that says we're not doing anything wrong. We want everybody to know we're not doing anything wrong. Show up, cop, fed, whatever, security guy, anti-gunner. I don't care, whatever your thing is where you might think you're not welcome. I want you there because I want you to see what we're doing. And that's, oddly, that's a controversial stance in the gun community, but I think we should be opening the doors, pulling off the balaclavas and really showing people what it is we're doing, because it's a freedom hobby, and it's protected by the Second Amendment. And in the states where it's oppressed, we're fighting to get it, unoppressed, just like we fought back to get our concealed carry rights, and we're moving all the way to permit carry in so many states now. I think that where we have lost other rights, to include the right to privately make guns without the government being involved, I think we'll regain those rights eventually too. One of the ways we do that is normalizing it.
Yeah, dude, hell yeah. I totally agree. And I think that we're a lot of people in the gun ownership world. I feel weird saying the gun community, because it's kind of like, it's just a gun, right? It's like saying the shovel community, or like it should be more normalized than it is. But you're right that this is something that so many times we see people say, oh well, the extreme left, or these people shouldn't have firearms. These people shouldn't have firearms. But I'm a constitutionalist absolutist, and it's like, no, dude, we need to include everyone, see everyone as brothers and sisters, everyone come together, build guns, y'all, build guns.
Yeah, it's funny. You mentioned the gun community thing. I just got back from Europe, right? I was over there all last week for like the European version of SHOT Show. And one of the things, inevitably, there's going to be a conversation about, well, what's it like in the US with guns everywhere? Everybody has a gun, whatever. And it's like, well, wait, time out. You got to realize the United States is like huge, right? When you think of the United States, you have to think of our states the way most people think about countries in Europe, right?
Yeah.
And when you put it in that perspective, they get it. They're like, okay, so Europe is very different, right? The gun laws in England are different from the gun laws in France, different from the gun laws in Germany, different from the gun laws in Slovakia. Yeah. And the gun laws in California are different from Arizona, or different from Nevada, or different from Colorado, right? It works the same way. And when we talk about gun community, I talk about the car community, right? Like, you wouldn't feel weird saying like the car community, but what do you really mean? Do you mean guys that like riders, or do you mean off-roaders? Do you mean overlanders, or do you mean drifters? Do you mean classic car collectors, or do you mean like classic truck guys, right? Do you like Ford versus Chevy? I mean, there's so many divisions within the car world, but there is absolutely, in the United States of America, there's an automotive culture, right? There's a car community. There's such a thing that people get. Whether you love your car or not, you understand and accept that there are a lot of people in the United States of America who love their cars and customize them and do all kinds of things with them and are enthusiastic about their brand loyalty and all that. Well, our gun culture is really the same way. I think our gun community, as fractured as it may seem all the time, at the end of the day, as you said, there is that one uniting factor of the Second Amendment in our country, and the appreciation for firearms and their importance in many, many ways in our lives. I think that's pretty universal. That's how we identify who's in the gun community.
Yeah, that's a great point. And on that, and on building as well, you recently kind of came under a little bit of scrutiny by the ETF, and you faced it head on, if you will. We know that there's a rule, I guess, a rulemaking that I don't even know what they would call it. The ATF is going to be coming. They'd said buyer before June 1. Seems like they're going to be, dropping the hammer sometime in April. So within a month. So we know that they're coming for, building privately manufactured firearms, 80s, 0% receivers. How have you addressed it? Say, bring up what occurred. I don't want to lead you on too much, but
yeah. So we had two events happen at the same time in February. We did one event in Colorado and one event in Massachusetts. Matt Holmes, we mentioned a couple times already, he was running the event in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Of Guns for One. We were running an event in Colorado. Well, one way or another, and it's still not clear at all sort of how we got there, but there definitely was a visit to the host facility where there was a classroom and also a gun shop. So the officially visiting the FFL that ran the gun shop where this gun building event was to happen, one of the local ATF agents started asking about what the event was all about. Now, it's not really clear that the visit was about the gun building day. I want to be like really clear about that, right? The visit may
Yeah.
very well have had something to do with something else, but then this conversation started, and one of the questions that apparently got asked was, "Well, is Rob Pincus going to be there?" Now, I don't know who brought my name up first. I don't know, exactly how that played out. But what I do know is by the time it got back to me and the guy who was hosting the class and back to Matt, it was, hey, the ATF was asking about our event and they were specifically asking about you, Rob. Okay. Well, usually when they do that, when they make a visit, they leave a business card. Did the guy leave a card? He did. Okay. I'm going to need that name and number. I'll call you guys back. So I got the name and number, and within like 50 minutes it happened. I just called the guy, and agent so and so. I go, "Is this Mike?" "Yeah, Mike, Rob Pincus. I heard you were asking about our event. Heard you were asking about me. Wanted to make sure there was an open line of communication. How can I help you? What was the inquiry about?" And it was about a 15-20 minute conversation. We got some clarity around exactly what we were doing, some clarity around what we weren't doing, which was, having people build guns for sale or whatever he was worried about.
Yeah.
And it actually became an opportunity for me to establish, what I see as some of the gray areas, and just say, well, here's how I interpret those gray areas around private gun making. Do you agree, or are we, we at odds here? And the guy was in agreement with the things that are usually concerning for people. So I didn't really think it was that big a deal at the end of the day that, this is their job. Like, what was going on? Well, we told them. And then a lot of people were surprised, that I guess I confronted it in that way. But here's what I said. Like, if they wanted to catch us doing something wrong, well, then the guy shows up in a flannel and jeans and tries to catch us doing something wrong, right? He doesn't show up
Yeah.
2 weeks before and say, hey, we're curious about this. I think it's really important that we have those conversations, because once again, we're not doing anything wrong. And people sometimes get intimidated. That was my concern, was some people put this out on the internet like, oh, you might not want to go to this thing because the ATF's looking at it. And there were people in the comments who were like, oh, I was thinking about going to the one in Colorado, the one in Massachusetts, but maybe not. And my thing is, no, this is the reason to show up, to show them that we're not doing anything, and we're not going to be intimidated about it. Because if you have to hide your freedom, if you have to hide what you're doing, you're not free. So I think that's a big part of what we're doing here.
Man, and I got to say, the fact that you addressed it head on, you hit him up and talked through it. I'm pretty sure that it made it very abundantly clear that, like, you're not looking to do anything shady. And I think that's the first thing they think of when they think of, like, I mean, build parties were going on like when my like parents were kids, like,
oh sure, yeah, it's been happening forever. And we used to run, we called them Supar build party. So it was a SUPAR build parties. We'd run them on Super Bowl Sunday when I was living in Ohio, like 12 years ago. We'd have those parties. We get stripped lowers with the logo of the party engraved on it. I mean, it was just something that's been going on for a long time. It's getting a lot more attention now, but unfortunately, a lot of the media and political attention is very negative. And I think it's incredibly important that we show, the truth of what's really going on.
Yeah, and I think casting that light of positivity on it, and you contacting the ATF agent, a lot of people are going to say, like, oh, that's, BS, that's, bootlicking, that's whatever. I mean, guys, like, we have to acknowledge the world that we live in, right? And facing it head on, I think, was the best way to do it. And it also kind of gave the opportunity for you to be like, hey, like you mentioned, here are some areas that are typically gray, like the whole tools stuff, and I mean, I admire it. I think it was great. Now, with the impending rule change, I mean, do you have any kind of foresight or any comments on that?
I don't. I think until we know what it is, there's really no point in wasting a lot of mental energy on it. A lot of people ask me, a lot of what ifs. So what if this? Will you do that? It's an incredible amount of wasted energy. A lot of people have this like pretend line in the sand thing, or this future tense I will not comply thing. I don't play that game. I the guys that are wearing will not comply t-shirts but still have a concealed carry permit in their pocket and have registered suppressors, like, you're a joke. Like, why? If you're literally running a gun shop and you have a shall not comply, like, I don't get you, right?
Yeah.
So you are obviously complying, right? Like 99.99% of gun owners in America are complying. We fill out 4473s. We have concealed carry permits. It doesn't mean we support them. It doesn't mean we believe in them. We're doing a lot of us are doing a lot of work to change those things. But at the end of the day, I can't tell you where that quote unquote line in the sand is, and I'm probably not going to come onto a podcast and be like, oh yeah, I'm still making guns, in my house in Denver. Even though they've banned unserialized guns in Denver, right? Like
Yeah,
that would be
yeah,
dumb. So at the end of the day, I think we all have line is, and when that line hits, if you're still hiding in the basement doing it, you're respecting that line to some level, right? If
yeah,
you're doing civil disobedience and you're out in the open violating something, like I always say, like I don't drive 65, right? So I am civilly disobedient every time I get on an interstate, and I take the
mhm,
consequences. Now, what I'm not going to do at this point is build myself an unregistered SBR and walk up the state capitol steps or the national capitol steps and say, go ahead and arrest me. I want to fight this out. I think I do more good for the community, more good for my family, and more good for myself not being say disobedient in those areas, right? But
yeah,
sooner or later, that line's gonna show up. I have a feeling for some people, and we're gonna see more of that. Right now, what we have is a lot of people that are very worried about something that hasn't happened. When it
yeah.
happens, then we can really have a conversation about what to do about it.
Yeah, I think that's a good outlook on it. JSC Supply, what's up, Jordan? Says, love that Rob approaches this stuff head on. He's a great example on how to handle these types of situations without having a huge confrontation. I would say, if I were to guess, that you likely, diffused a potential situation by
Maybe
keeping
I
it
just,
that
again, I understand why there's some people that choose to handle it differently, right? And
Mhm.
I was out at the Gundies, and PSR print shoot repeat was out there, full ski goggles, blacked out, everything else.
Yeah,
That's his thing, and like cool. So I did a little, we did a selfie, and I posted about it. I said I get it. He does it differently than I do it. I
yeah,
don't think we should be making it look like we all have to hide what we're doing, and I think it
yeah,
balances out, but unfortunately, if you go back 3-4 years ago, just about everything you saw from the 3D printing community was balaclavas, gloves, hidden fake names, whatever, all that. And I'm like, I'm glad to see more and more people openly saying, no, I 3D print, firearms receivers, or I 3D print, 90% of the gun, and I get the rest of it from the hardware store and do some welding to finish it out. Like, I think the more people that are normalizing that, the better off we are as a community. But I get it. Not everybody wants to do that. And whether it's because of their school or their job or their mom, or whatever, it is what it is. For me, I think it's important that more people step up and speak up that do it, that don't have a really good reason. It's not worth getting kicked out of your mom's basement over. But at the end of the day, for those of us that are you know able to do it, we should be doing it in the open.
hell yeah. And I respect that. And I saw that selfie that you guys or that you posted of you and PSR, and he was actually on just a couple weeks prior. And
Cool.
the fact that you acknowledged both sides and respectfully addressed it, I think it's cool.
And I
Um,
appreciate the shout out from JSD, from Jordan too. Those guys have done an incredible amount to support the builder community, and specifically to support the gun makers match as well. Like a lot of legitimacy in the way he approaches the business and his challenges as well.
Yeah, hell yeah. Jordan, all those guys over there at JSD, which this stream is actually sponsored by JSD Supply. My little light shining on the shirt back there died, but there's so much that they do and people like you do that we don't see. And the fact that we have all these incredible people out there fighting on our behalf is awesome. I do have to say that there was a time when, and I know we only have you till 10 o'clock, so we only got a few more minutes. So guys, if you have questions for Rob, throw them out there. We are going to be able to have him back on at another time. But when I was a younger adult, we'll say, I was, growing up and I was watching this show. Even my wife at the time, my girlfriend, would like turn on the TV, put on the outdoor channel, and put on the best defense like for me. It was that important to me. And Wednesday night at the range, and it took a second when I met you out in Oaks, but I was like, oh my God, you were on the best defense. I know we only have a couple minutes, but if you could sum up, like briefly share your experience on that show, because that was an awesome show.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
proud of that work. We did, it was Michael Bain, Mike Janich, and I did a show. I did the first 4 seasons. We also did 3 seasons of a show called Best Defense Survival as a little bit of a spinoff. That one
Mhm.
was fun too. It was a great experience. It was an opportunity to really just talk about whatever we wanted. And the format of the show was kind of fun because it was like we'd start the show with something going poorly, right? And it wasn't acting. I mean, it would be a stretch to call it acting, but it was maybe a little bit of role playing with Bain and Janich and I, maybe some other guests or some other friends of ours at different places around the country. We would act out something that went poorly for the good guy, and then
Yeah.
we'd show alternatives, and then of course it would build up to, here's what we think you should do in this situation, and that's your best defense. And it wasn't really product heavy. It was really concept heavy and technique heavy and skill based. I was the gun guy. Janich was the unarmed knife guy, and then Bain was the theory guy, like the host, the guy that kind of brought it all together conceptually. It was an honor to work with those guys. It was the second TV show that I did of 4 that I participated in fully, where I wrote the pieces and sort of sketched out the content. And it was good. It was a good time, and it was a great way to communicate with people for a number of years. Personal Defense Network is where I put all that kind of effort and energy into now. It's much
Mhm.
more short format, digest it, on your own. Video might be 2, 3, 4 minutes long. We do have some long format, full courses at personaldefensenetwork.com, but
Yeah.
that has really become, the most creative place, I guess, that I share content when I'm not actually teaching a class in person.
Yeah, that was, I mean, especially at that stage in my life, like that show was so important. It taught me so much just about basic, awareness, basic, just kind of the pieces that you don't get when you go to the shop. And there's always the bros that are like, psh, like you're new, psh, you're learning,
Yeah,
psh, you don't know
yeah.
that. So that was awesome. It had a huge impact on me.
I
Now I know
appreciate
we're
that.
already.
It's good to know. We do, and I know, Bain and I talk a lot. Janet and I still talk, and it's always great to know that show was impactful and important. And I really enjoyed my time doing it as well. So it was definitely a fun thing to have. And it's hard to believe, but that was. My last season on that was 2012. I think it was 2008 to 2012. So it's hard to believe it was 10 years ago.
Wow, that's crazy. Time flies.
It lives on in reruns, I'm sure, on Outdoor Channel still.
Well, you know what? All you guys can go find previous episodes on YouTube as well.
Yep.
They're out there. Great stuff, man. It was great. Now I know we only had a half an hour tonight. We're definitely going to have you back on because you've written books, you've done TV shows, you've done, I mean, everything you've done with Personal Defense Network. You're doing product development as
Product
well. You're
development. Yeah. There's a lot
Yeah.
going on, and I appreciate it. And I apologize tonight. I'm actually grabbing a quick dinner with my daughter tonight before I head east, and I'll be in North Carolina this week. And I have a big meeting on some new stuff that people will learn more about towards the end of the year. But I mean, I appreciate everything you do to share information with people, and I'm honored by the invitation. And as we discussed before tonight, I'd love to come back and do a full hour, get a little bit more in depth, and interact with the audience a little bit more. I appreciate it. This
Yeah, man.
opportunity, and then whatever we can do in the future as well.
Absolutely, man. I'll let you get to your family. We'll keep the stream running for another hour or so, probably. But thank you for everything, man. And let everyone know really quickly where they can find you.
Personaldefensenetwork.com, or find me on the internet, Rob Pincus, Pincus, or like Twitter and Instagram. It's Pincus. It's at Pincus Rob.
Awesome, Rob. Thank you
Thanks,
so
man.
much for coming on, brother. Take it easy.
Take it
Enjoy
easy.
your dinner. Man, that was awesome. Yeah. Growing up, man, watching. And I say growing up, but I mean this was like what 15 or so years ago. I think when it started, maybe 17 years ago. All the type of like tactics and skills and awareness of kind of where you are, where you're going, the things to evaluate in every situation were things that come to a lot of people naturally. But man, it was good to highlight those things, and that show definitely had a big impact on me. And I didn't even realize who it was at the time. So when I met him in Oaks at the Pennsylvania Gun Show with JSD, I'm looking at him, I'm chilling with him, I'm hanging out with him the whole time, and I'm like, who is this dude? I know this dude. This face, I can't put in it. And then literally it just clicked, and I was like, oh my God, you're from the Best Defense. And then that's where we hit it off. And he's a good dude, man. He contributes a lot. He with what happened with the ATF, him jumping in, addressing it head on. I mean, I definitely admire that a great deal. So he's a good dude, man. You can find him. He's very active on Instagram, very active on every platform. So check him out. You'll find him at the Gunmakers match in less than 2 weeks. Yep, yeah, we mentioned that as well. That's the 19th in St. Augustine, I think. What's up, JC9? GKT, what's up, man? Hammer down. Furry. Bob, Gerchop, JC Supply. Brother, what's up, man? Good to see you, Jordan. Happy that you're here. Vanessa Kitty, Dirt McGirt, Man Against the Masses, Jeff Cron, Agorizer, Sport Brand, everybody that I missed. GD Bacon, all y'all. Good to see y'all here, man. So we are going to have Rob back on just to schedule a full hour so we can kind of hit everything that he does. And if you guys have seen the famous Vice interview where I think it's called I Build a Ghost Gun and Shoot It in a Match or something along those lines. And yeah, it didn't work very well. But I won't blame that on the JSC Supply parts, which, by the way, like I said, the stream is sponsored. It's brought to you by JSD Supply. And right now, with the impending rule change on privately manufactured firearms, I don't even want to say just 80% because, I mean, there are people that are cranking out 0% from, blocks of aluminum right now. It's coming in April. This is what they did. And I called this weeks ago. We did a stream and I was like, they're saying that by or before June 1, they're going to make a rule change for privately manufactured firearms. We don't know what it is. We don't know what it's going to look like, what it's going to be, but we know that they're going to make a change and it's likely not going to be in our favor. What's up, Gun Doctor? We won't be running one tomorrow, but well, shit, I don't know. Maybe we will do a show tomorrow, man. We have the Locked and Loaded Latinas coming on Thursday, and then I have a little special thing that I'm working out for Saturday, and then I actually have Bulligan Shooting Sports coming on as well. So that's going to be dope. Yeah, so Gun Doctor, I would love to get you on. Maybe we'll do like a bonus show. So I'll reach out to you. I'll hit you up via IG, and we'll set something up. So like I was saying, we know that they are going to make a rule change for privately manufactured firearms, and we know that they're likely going to make a rule change that is not in our favor. Okay, now this could be something as simple as polymer 80s are still legal, 80% receivers are still legal, 50% receiver, because they know what we're going to do if they just say 80% receivers aren't legal. And they'll just come out with a 50%, a 40%, a 20%, a 10%. Even like Cody Wilson with the Ghost Gunner 3, you're able to knock out an AR receiver from a 0% chunk of aluminum. And I respect that a great deal. Cody Wilson, who's also been on the show a few times, does a lot of work to fight for everyone's rights, all y'all's rights, my rights. But because we don't know what it's going to look like, we don't know what to prepare for. And one of the things I called was when you get any situation like this, what happens a month or two prior? A month or two prior, it just blows up with urgent panic purchasing and people just trying to grab as many 80s as they can, as many build kits as they can. And I was like, you know what? I bet they're going to jump in and they're going to say, well, they're going to say it like this, basically. By June 1, we'll make a rule change. So that means in May and April, everyone's going to go crazy purchasing as many 80s and as many kits as they can get. And they knew that. And I had called it a few times on different streams that we had done. And I said, I think because someone actually fed a little info to me, I think it's going to come on the earlier side of May. Well, I was right on one part. It is going to come earlier. I was wrong on another part that it's going to be even earlier than we'd expected, which they're going to make a rule change in April, which could be April 1st. So we may have less than a month. So I don't want to do the whole selling fear thing where I'm like, yeah, go buy, use my affiliate link to purchase Polymer 80s because they're going to be banned, right? That's not what I'm about. Um, of course, if you would like to support the channel and you would like to, purchase some kits, JSD Supply is the way to go. But it's up to you guys. You don't have to support the channel. You could just use code DARK, and that doesn't give me anything. That just goes directly to give you a discount and free shipping. And you can use that on as many orders as you want too. I see people push an order through, and then they push an order through, and I'm like, who are these people ordering? Because honestly, I want to reach out and be like, yo, thank you for grabbing my link. Thank you for going in, typing JSD Supply, pulling it up, and being about to order and be like, oh, I can help Dark. Let me put this in and, help Dark's channel. So that's dope. I appreciate all you guys. I do also have an affiliate link for Brownells and for HCM holsters and a couple others too that I'm working on. So yeah, if you want to support the channel and get shit at a discount, you can do that. Aegis gun cleaning as well. I think I mentioned HCM holsters. You could use code DARK as well. And Aegis gun cleaning, which is literally like the best gun cleaning solutions and lube. You can get 15% off with code DARK as well. So take advantage of that shit, man. But only if you're already going to be purchasing things. Like, don't run out and panic purchase shit. That's not my intention. Flying Rich, what's up, brother? Good to see you. It's a Luigi. So, he's right in a lot of aspects that most people that are rocking the shall not comply shirts and are going on YouTube and social media saying that, I'm not going to comply and this is my line in the sand and this is the hill I'm willing to die on, the proverbial hill, right? Those are likely the people that'll be hiding in their basements. CRS Firearms said it best. He said, in your basement, snickering to yourself as you drill the third hole. It just doesn't do anything. And sacrificing yourself as just a collar for the people's, like, what good are you truly going to do by doing that? We have plenty of people fighting that battle for you. So stay free, stay out, and don't do shit that'll get you locked up. Although I do believe that peaceful noncompliance is the best first option. And then, from there, you figure out what the next steps are. Let me get caught up on chat here. Dark, they're limiting the code for one order. Not sure if it's one order a day or a week or month. I don't know. I've seen a bunch go through. I guess they could be different people. Man, Sport Brand, I love that comment. It's funny because somebody hit me up on Instagram and they were like, hey, I just want to let you know I did my part today. And in the grocery store, he took a picture of the salad dressings and all the Russian dressings were just all knocked down and like tipped over and destroyed. And I got a good laugh out of that. That was funny. Yeah, let's go fight and die for the CIA installed Ukrainian government that Brandon put in after the coup in 2014. Great idea. Yeah, I mean, dude, there's a lot of people. Yeah, guys, I'll say it like this. Ting Ting said it best. Okay, represent Ting Ting. Now, I know she's not the first one to say this. I know plenty have said it prior to her. But I had most recently seen it from her, and she had said, why worry about one tyrant 10,000 miles away when there are 10,000 tyrants 1 mile away? Guys, we have enough battles to fight here on our own soil. Don't be running off and, doing anything crazy. Stack, stock, stick to the plan. Head on a swivel, powder dry, hammer down. Yeah, you got that right. Yeah, man, this is something that if you are just beginning to prepare for, I feel badly, and I hope we don't go to a dark place. I hope that I'm always going to have hope, right? But I don't know. I don't know what to expect. It seems like the assault on the open assault on your natural rights that were given to you by your creator that cannot be given or removed by government are being attacked. And they're looking at these things as if they are loopholes. Loopholes don't exist. They're looking at these things as if they're workarounds. Workarounds don't exist. These everything that they're saying that we're doing to circumvent the NFA or to, to work around these rules, laws, regulations, restrictions, and sanctions and all that bullshit, it's called compliance, right? We are peacefully complying with your ridiculous set of rules when you're laying out rules and regulations for shit that you don't even understand. Saying that a 10.3-inch barrel is more dangerous than a 16.5-inch barrel or a 20 barrel, or that an overall length of anything, less than 26.5 inches is more dangerous than, like, dude, who made this shit? This is a joke. And this same NFA is the same NFA that unconstitutionally was put into place in the 30s, in 1934. The same unconstitutional GCA, the Gun Control Act of 1968. All of that shit, like, these are people that don't understand what they're regulating, right? Like, imagine if you knew nothing about vehicles and you were put in a place, in a position to literally write law on the regulation of vehicles and the emissions and the, like, you're literally just going to have barely scratching the surface of shit if you were to do a quick cram session one night before you went to bed. It's just crazy. Now, I would never tell anybody what to do. I can only share what I would do, and I just I would prefer, and this is how they do this. Everything that they're doing is with the fear of incarceration. They're leveraging the fear of incarceration against all of us, and whether that is, you choosing a pistol brace over a stock, they know that they are leveraging the fear of incarceration because nobody has a desire to be, well, I would imagine that few people have a desire to be incarcerated. And this is also what they're doing with CRS. They take a creator, 130,000 subscribers, and they lock him up for using his words on a video for an item that at the time was legal. And I know people are going to chime in and be like, well, he made his bed and he's got a lie in it and he did shit, whatever. I don't give a fuck. The reality is that he accepted sponsorship money for an item that was not considered a machine gun by the ATF. And then these fools, with nothing passed through Congress, there was no legislation, with a determination letter or examination letter, they're able to say this is a machine gun. This metal card is a machine gun. And then, of course, he's arrested for 8 counts of felony. Yeah, it's nuts. So because they're saying that he conspired, that he basically helped create the company and wanted to do other ideas that were like it, like, they're taking this way too far. But the whole purpose of me bringing this shit back up is to say that what happens in the world of firearm content creators when, polymer 80s, 80 builds, assembly videos, polymer 80 videos, P.D. Ralph videos, Putang videos, the Rogue Banshee videos, all these people out here that are making videos on this is how you build a polymer 80. This is how you do so Marine Gun Builder, right? All these people that are putting out this content for us to take in, absorb,
learn how to do something effectively, to make a firearm, to make other things, other items of freedom, we'll say. And then they take a creator and say, boom, arrested. What does that do? Well, that immediately tightens up the butt cheeks of all the other content creators. And they're like, well, shit, I'm not going to talk about that. That's too spicy. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to stay over here. And then they, yeah. And yep, they're going after Form 1 suppressors now. You can't legally Form 1 a suppressor right now. So they're going after, and this isn't going after, they have absolutely gone after force reset triggers. They've gone after the auto key card, a piece of metal, which that drawing on anything, if they're going to say that, well, I don't want to give them any ideas. Force reset triggers, polymer 80s, but let's just call it privately manufactured firearms. Form 1 suppressors, I actually was going to submit a tax stamp. This is probably going to be the last one that I was going to do, to make a Form 1 suppressor. I wasn't going to do it out of a kit. I had an idea to do a press fit design, and fuck it, I'll share the info with you guys too. So if you take a cylindrical, like a, let's call it a 6-7 inch cylinder of aluminum, like 6061, pretty, this isn't going to be shit that's going to, be good on a 5.56, or we're talking like a 22 can, right? I was going to make the bore wider, I'm not going to submit the Form 1 now, and I'll explain why. So I was going to take it, and I was going to, thread one end 1/2x28, and I was going to take out, a series of triangles, essentially, to make a monocore baffle stack of K baffles, and then on the end have basically a permanently affixed, like leave the end like a 1/2 inch thick, and leave the end with the threads about a 1/2 inch thick. So I have basically what looks like a muzzle brake, but it would be considered a silencer once you machine it out. Threaded 1/2x28 on one side, you have a permanently affixed end cap on the other side, and then you have a stack of K baffles. And then I was going to take an aluminum sleeve, and I was literally going to press fit it. I was going to push it on top and put some like white lithium grease or something like that in there, and hammer that thing down to cover, because there's about there would be about like there's about a 1/2 inch on the top, depending on how it would be machined, about a 1/2 inch on the top and a 1/2 inch on the bottom of extra material. So you would just need to pick something that is like a fraction of the size larger than the cylinder, and then press fit it over the tube, and then you get a cheap $20-$30 basically a disposable can. And then I would get the portion on the baffle stack piece serialized. That way, if I blow the tube out or something like that, knock that thing off, replace it with another one, or if I need to clean it, knock that thing off, replace it with another one, because you could take that whole stack of oh, I hate Google, dude. There's a few of you guys I still got to send stuff out to. Over the last week or so, I've not been able to do it because apparently the ATF goes through all my mail when it goes out, and they forget to put stuff back in the mail to the people that got these items. So I hate Google and a couple others. I got to get items back out to. One is a parts kit for a 19 lower, and a couple others are patches that disappeared in the mail, which sucks. But it's kind of funny if you think about like some random postman walking around with PWEDC patches. I'm not mad at that. So yeah, basically, I was going to Form 1 a suppressor, and I have a couple other silencers that are registered. That's my my compliance. And what's the beef with choices? Hey, no beefing out here. I'm baffled by this story. So here's why I bring it up. one, to give you guys an idea of, a simple way that you could go machine a suppressor. They're saying that the kits are illegal. They're saying that those kits themselves are suppressors, that if you pull out one baffle, that singular baffle is a suppressor. So they're saying that if you submit a Form 1 silencer, that every single item in those kits are silencers. And if you're submitting something like what I mentioned, which is a solid piece of aluminum, and once you submit the Form 1, they're going to request pictures. What they want is they want you to prove that you are going to be the individual machining it. They want you to send pictures and show the machine, show the material, show the, like, what? What they're trying to do is to make it as difficult as possible for people to do at-home firearm manufacturing, at-home suppressor manufacturing, when the world is making it as easy as possible, or as simple as possible, not easy. Because I don't want people getting confused that are watching this that may not be of the same thinking as us and think the shit's easy. Because guess what? Go try to build a gun. Go try to build even the most simple of them all, a Glock 17, 19, 26, and I promise you, you'll probably be going to YouTube looking for videos, but you're not going to find them because of the Senate letter that went out, which mentioned my friend 3 times, P80 Ralph, also mentioned the Rogue Banshee, and I'm bringing all this up to say that they're coming after all of these things at a time that seems like we may be going into a time of war, and I just think it's crazy. It's an assault on all fronts, and I don't like it. Makes my butthole tighten up. Isn't the Second Amendment to defend against enemies, foreign and domestic? Sorry. Shouldn't that mean that we should be capable to have some or the same equipment as the enemy? At least, yeah, absolutely, 100%. If you think about it, and we did a video that, I mean, it was literally like 3.5 or maybe even 4 hours long. It was a as close to, I would say, an accurate interpretation of what they intended for the Second Amendment. And we went way far and deep back into, the average cost of each militiaman and their rifle and their powder and their balls and their caps and all that, all the way to today, what it takes to outfit, let's call it someone in the Army, someone in the Marines or Navy or whoever the hell, or even the civilian, right? That should have access to the same items. But a good battle rifle, funny enough, has like always cost the same roughly percentage-wise compared to like an infantryman's salary or something like that. So it's kind of interesting. It's basically like a month's worth of pay for a dependable battle rifle. And for an infantryman, he went through all that, and it was a great conversation. It was probably like 6 to 8 months ago. But anyway, there should not be any restrictions on what any individual would choose to select for self-preservation, period. If an individual is making the decision to carry items or own items, possess items, build items, whatever, for self-preservation, there should be no restriction on that, because self-preservation could be from any threat at all. So whether that's 22 for raccoons, or whether that's a shotgun or an AR or an M16 or a full auto M16, full auto AK, a Bradley minigun, or a literal warship, cannons, 40 millimeter grenade launcher, destructive devices, it doesn't matter. There should be absolutely no restrictions on what an individual chooses for self-preservation, period. Because based on what the Second Amendment was written for, to protect the natural rights of us, that would mean that was designed specifically to protect us from potentially our own government, a tyrannical government, or an invading force of some sort. So therefore, you would actually want to outfit civilians with military grade items, which I'll be honest, don't insult my firearm collection and say that they're military grade. They're much better than that. But because of all this fuckery with the Form 1 cans, I've made the decision, and I brought this up a stream ago or two ago. I am going to Form 1 a grenade because I want to be able to go to people and as they say, like, well, what do you mean you can't Form 1 a silencer? I thought you could own silencers, or, what do you mean you can build a silencer? Or you used to be able to build a silencer. I'm going to say, actually, right now, the last 3,000 Form 1s for silencers were all denied. But I was allowed to Form 1 a hand grenade. I just want to be able to show people and hold up the tax stamp and hold up the grenade and say, hey, look, these two items, this was approved by the ATF. So I'm going to get a hand grenade registered by the ATF as a destructive device. So why not? Now, there's some things to consider when doing something like that. Now, that's a dummy grenade, right? That's a big dummy. But yeah, I just, it's the whole thing. It's the idea of the auto key card, right? The auto key card was supposed to be a novelty item where you sit back and say, hold on, someone that may not know about firearm rules, restrictions, laws, regulations, whatever. And they say, damn, that piece of metal, if you cut that item out, that's an illegal machine gun. That itself is worthy of 10 years in federal prison and up to $250,000 in fines. Well, that's crazy. That could change the way that I see a particular category or, particular community of people, or, that didn't go over too well, though. Now, me getting a Form 1 approved for a grenade, I don't know how well that's going to go over either, but we going to see. No step on snake. Let's see. Sorry, I'm catching up with chat. Hang on. Yeah, no, Kimball, I understand that, but that isn't a that's not illegal. Like, speech isn't illegal, and they could. And he also made it clear in the video that that would be illegal, and that he was in 0702, and that he could literally convert those into machine guns lawfully at that point. But just because he said, you can order this and you can break the law, that doesn't mean that he is guilty of conspiracy. He didn't conspire to sell machine guns. He received money in the form of a sponsorship, to sell an item that, yes, if people chose to break the law, then they could break the law. It's the same thing with polymer 80. If I go get a polymer 80 lower receiver, and I turn that into a machine gun, is polymer 80 responsible for that? Or is the person that was sponsored by polymer 80 on their YouTube channel responsible for that? Like, the individual that's breaking the law is responsible for that. Now, I know people are going to be like, oh, fuck laws, like, you're a bootlicker. I'm saying that the law exists. I am acknowledging the world that we live in, which, albeit a little bit crazy. Yeah. Sorry, I'm missing so much chat here. Thank you, CNT. Appreciate it. Didn't he at some point say his videos were intended for other 0702s? He did, yeah. He did mention that they were intended for 0702s. He also mentioned that and he's gotten a lot of shit over this, that the auto key card is a great solution for, hold on. The auto key card was a great solution for 0702 SOTs, for them to be able to make inexpensive machine guns and be able to not convert an actual firearm. You would just be converting the auto key card essentially to like a demo gun. There is an emergency in the DLD household. I was just informed that there is a massive spider upstairs, and I need to go kill it. Now, this is typically when I would say, hey, person that's on my stream, would you keep chat company while I'm gone? But there's no other person on the stream. So hang tight for a minute. I got to go murk a spider, and I'm going to gear up. So Bravo 6, going dark. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. Okay, darling? Okay, this is where shit gets funny, okay? This message comes across my phone, and it's like, babe, there's I think she said, a massive spider upstairs, okay? I come upstairs, and on the ceiling is a daddy long leg. I'm like, bro, are you serious? A daddy long leg? Like, what for real? Jesus Christ, God bless her heart. Anyway, so that was an 80% grenade. Yes, see, you get it. You get it. I use WD-40 and a Bic for spiders. Bro, you know what I use? Airsoft all day. What's your guys' thoughts on the SIG 229 Enhanced Elite? I'm more of a 226 guy myself. I actually know somebody that got bit by a brown recluse. Two people, actually, that got bit by a brown recluse. Yeah, I mean, it almost immediately causes necrosis, and I mean, your cells start dying. Like if you don't get medical aid very quickly, you could die from a spider bite. Maybe that was code for sex. It could be. Maybe if I stuck around long enough. Dang it. See? The things I give for you guys. If she texts me again, like, there's another one. There's an ant. then I know I'll have to end the stream. Yeah, so I don't know. It's just everything that's been going on. It's just got me kind of feeling eerie. It's got me feeling really just sad, right? Um, and GKT, you mentioned something earlier. You had said something along the lines of like, and you may have been being facetious. So if you were, I apologize. But you had said something along the lines of like, why, build firearms or why, build 80 percenters when in time of war, they literally hand them out, right? Um, and you see that right now with like Ukraine, with what's going on. You're seeing people literally go around and hand out full auto AKs, ammo, javelins, Stinger missiles, ARs, freaking. I mean, they got like a lot of support from Germany. They got apparently a lot of support from us that I was not aware of. I guess it's cool for us to provide lethal aid to another country and not be at odds with Russia about it, I guess. I don't know. But in a time of war, it's possible that people, whether other governments provide it or whether our governments provide it or, whether just people provide it, I would much, much, much rather be the one handing out firearms instead of being the one waiting for someone else to hand out firearms. And I know that you may not necessarily have meant that, right? Like I don't think you're saying, hey, go firearmless, live firearmless, and wait for the day that maybe someone just may, in the time of war, hand something out to you. I think most of us, and I think you also, um, um, are probably a person that like takes, your own life and your own decisions and all that in your own hands and says like, fuck, waiting for somebody else to hand something out. I'm I'm taking this shit on, or I'm me, my skills, my abilities. I'm going to build something. I'm going to test it. I'm going to file it and sand it and polish it and make it beautiful and make sure all the parts mate and fit and finish it beautifully and all that. And then you have something that is working, that's trustworthy, that you yourself could build a small homeless person army with a bunch of Glocks and ARs if you choose to. And that's what we call entertainment, guys. So please don't take me too seriously. But the Ukraine military sucks. The javelins are the only hope they got. They are only really good at killing their own fellow countrymen. It's like Eastern Europe's thing or something. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess comparing it, it was facetious, a joke, because no one was coming to save us. Yeah, yeah. No, that's a good point, and I figured it was. But for some out there, I guarantee you there is a person or there are people that are watching this right now that are nowhere near prepared as they should be. And granted, nothing may happen, right? Absolutely nothing. It's a possibility that nothing happens. It's a possibility that we are all safe. It's a possibility that the ATF comes in April and they say, hey, guys, I had a long talk with myself in the mirror this morning, and you know what? We are not only not going to make a rule change on 80 percenters, but we're going to deliver one stimulus P80 to everyone's household. So no worries. We're going to move forward with the Hearing Protection Act. Silencers are now formally removed from the registry, and you guys can make them, build them, machine them, and print them willy-nilly. And then also the whole thing with Ukraine. It may come back that nothing happens, and I don't think that's where we are. I think we're in a place where we are getting way too close, and that we are involving ourselves in a conflict that is going to, put us in a place where we can't back out. And who knows what happens from there. What's up, Safety Doc? Good to see you, man. God, so many times there are things that I want to say that I don't. Russia's economy is on par with Florida's. They're not going to make it, I say. Yeah, you know, I don't know. I don't know. It's funny because I saw somebody post something. They said, you know, it's interesting. You know, Russia invading Ukraine. Russia just kind of does whatever they want because Russia is one of the only countries left that is not bought and paid for by the you know, Rothschild family and big banks, and because otherwise they never could have you know, pulled something like that off. I was like, damn. Dark, did you play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2? Yeah, I think I played Modern Warfare 2. Say it, pussy. Damn. No, this is too incriminating. Not incriminating, but too damning and stuff. Yeah, I've been seeing a oh shit. Oh man, I put the wrong fucking banner up. I meant to put an intermission banner up while I was gone. Please talk shit about me in chat. Yeah, Gerchop was recently released from a mental hospital, so don't say anything mean to him. As a matter of fact, I would encourage all of you to say hello and be very kind and chat to him. He will find you. He's like Liam Neeson up in this bitch. Where did I miss? Oh, dude, I do it all the time. Like I'm a mod on some other channels, and I sure you did. I'll like be listening with like my AirPods in, and I'll have my phone in my pocket on, and my phone will just be touching shit like deleting people and banning people from the channel like left and right. I'm like, oh my bad. People are like, Dark, why did you time out Sport Brand? I'm like, I had no idea. No, the globalists have screwed up the monetary system. Time to nuke the planet. Could be. Could be. This could be what they're waiting for. Who knows? Like, you know, we can only um, speculate at this point. But I have a feeling that we'll be taken to a place at some point where we look back and we say, man, remember when the biggest problem that we had was my live stream was getting interrupted by my wife because she saw a daddy long leg. Now we're cooking beans on a wood fire inside the house with the windows boarded up, and my entire family, including grandparents, are all armed and in full kit. Uh, you know, I don't know. But it would be good to start looking into the details of like, you know, what Fallout looks like, you know, what kind of things you would need for Fallout, how much time you would need to wait before venturing out into like scavenging, you know, after, you know, something were to go nuclear, just to have the information. Because no matter what law changes and rule changes come in, no matter what things change, whatever takes place, the things that they cannot take from you ever are skills and abilities and the things that you do to exercise your mind to be able to do certain things. Like the fact that you can run a gun, they can't take that from you. So, yeah, they may be able to take firearms from you through legislation, not even legislation, through freaking determination letters, right? They could just literally just speak law into existence without an act of Congress or any legislation at all. God, that's so crazy. Like you would think, oh man, yeah, our system is broken. But anyway, they cannot take from you the fact that you can run a gun. So even if firearms are 100% completely banned outright tomorrow, everything is banned, there's still going to be guns all over the place, all over the world. So your skills and abilities will outweigh any fiat law that comes into place. So fuck it. I got 10 pounds of beans vacuum sealed in 1 pound bricks. Nice. Fallout is easy. Duct tape, garbage bags, and a gas mask. Keep the dust off you and out of your house. There you go, Martin. Do you know how long you have to wait until you can venture outside into the fallout? Flying Rich. DLD After Dark. I can't find a single Polymer 80 on eBay. Yeah, it's because they're not allowed to be sold on eBay, which is funny because I've literally seen drop-in auto sears on eBay and craziness, which those are likely either setups or those are likely people that are stupid as hell. But anyway, tonight was going to be a quick one. Love to kick it with you guys, but 72 hours, Jeff Cron, not bad. You're apparently 80% of the radiation is depleted within the first 24 hours. 80%. That's crazy. Nobody dies. They live forever in our hearts. Facts. Ain't that the truth? You can get slides on eBay. Yeah, you can get every single thing you need to complete an 80% build on eBay, except the P80. Never surrender your ways of defending oneself. Ukraine. Oh, shit. Chat's moving too quick. Ukraine is a prime example. Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing, man. I can't tell you how many people I see that just go out and buy what they need. They buy a kit and they build a gun, or they go out and so when I was working at the gun store, I worked at a very large gun shop for about 5 years, and people would come in and after Sierra Hotel happened, after there were a couple times during the Obama administration that the Second Amendment was threatened, and there were these massive just waves of people buying shit, and so many people would walk in and be like, "Hey, I want an AR," or "Hey, I want an AK." I'd be like, "Okay, cool." Walk them over, show them a few things. Here's an AR. Here's an M&P Sport. Here's a Colt 6920. Here's the Daniel Defense. Here's an LWRC, and they're like, "I'll do this one," right? They'll pick a DPMS or an M&P Sport or something like that, and then walk them over, start the paperwork, walk them through the process, explain everything, and then start the paperwork, and then finish the transaction and be like, "I need some ammo too." "Okay, what kind of ammo?" I don't know. "What kind of ammo you got?" "Well, we have these for these, this for this is for this. This is 55 grain, XM193, this is 62 grain, green tip penetrators, and this is whatever." Walk through everything. They purchase ammo too. And they usually only purchase 120 rounds, right? So it's you have 4 mags, dope, okay? Because your Cordura carrier holds 3 in the front and 1 in the gun, so you're rocking 4 mags. And after the whole transaction, after they pay for it, after they purchase it, they say, "Can you show me how to run it? Can you show me how it works?" I'm like, "Bro, what? Can I show you how it works? That's not, I mean, I'll show you some basic shit, but that's your responsibility to go." People think that the tool is the solution. The tool is not the solution. The tool, oh yeah, there's one. Sunny Guns, what's up, brother? You're the other one I gotta get. My bad, I didn't get the thing back out to you, man. It's been a crazy week or two. The end is near, beware. What's up, brother? I'll get it out to you within the next few days, man. I'm sorry to keep you all waiting, man. But no, I mean, they would literally be like, "Show me how it works. I don't know how to work it." And I'd have to sit there and run them through it, and I would, because of course for safety, it's important. They come and buy a Glock or an AK or an AR or whatever they think is going to be at risk next, And the panic purchasing is so real. Like, I cannot even explain, like, waves of people, like, leaving work, like, coming on their lunch break, and they're buying their first firearm because they heard something. It's the same shit when people walk through a grocery store and they see that almost all the toilet paper is gone. They're like, oh, but I don't have enough toilet paper. Why is everyone buying toilet paper? Oh my God, I should buy toilet paper. And then they go crazy, go to another store and punch somebody in the face over a 48 pack of toilet paper. It gets crazy. Nice, man. Hell yeah, Atomic Bomb. Where'd you get it and how much? Because I'm trying to stack up some ammo. I went to the range a few times recently, and I was like cringing every time I pulled the trigger. I was like, damn, I really don't want to blow this ammo. Like, that's like 450 commies. It could have, anyway. But it's important to make sure that the tools that I have are all working appropriately, and they were builds that I needed to test. And, if you build something, you got to go take it out. If you buy something, you got to take it out. You got to see what, I mean, there are people that I know that I talked to recently that were like, oh yeah, I take it to the range and it runs fine. Okay. How many rounds you got through it? 200-300 rounds. Okay. Did you run any jacketed hollow points through it? Well, no, I ran range ammo because I was at the range. What are you carrying in it? Jacketed hollow points. Okay. Does that shit even work with that ammo? Like, how many times have you purchased like the best ammo? Like, you got the Powerball, or like the old school like Powerball, or like the freaking MagTech 2,000 foot per second 380, and you get the shit. You're like, man, this shit's badass. I got some fucking 2,100 feet per second. What's that shit called? The silver bullets. I got. Oh my god, I'm whatever. And then you're like, okay, so time goes on, then you're like, man, now I got Hornady, now I got federal HSTs, now I got some federal BPLEs, and I got these things, and like, this ammo is the shit. This is going X amount of feet per second, this is X weight, and this is X, and then you take it to the range, and then you find out, or you never take it to the range, and then you're just hoping your shit is going to work when you bust, God forbid if you ever had to draw that shit. But you absolutely have to run your carry ammo through your gun. Just the same thing as if you got XM193, 62 grain green tips. If you got 77 grain tap Hornady ammo, whatever you got, run that shit through your gun. Make sure it works. Most people don't understand barrel twist. Most people don't understand different grain weights. People think that it's literally the grains of gunpowder in there. They're like, oh, well, that says 77, so that's a plus P plus. Like, bruh. Sorry, I don't mean it sounds so judgy. It doesn't mean to be judgy. It just means the most important thing to do is not get the tool. That is a part of the process. Getting the tool is part of the process. The real magic is understanding the tool, breaking it down, completely field stripping it, then completely detail stripping it, then cleaning and maintaining it, and taking it out, running ammo through it. What ammo does it like? You run your 115 grain, full metal jacket, Winchester white box through it. Then run some 124 grain, HSTs through it. Run some 147 grain. I got these 147s, HSTs. I got these, which one is this? This is the 43X, and this is 20 rounds of the 9mm BPLE plus P plus 115 grain, and these things are cooking. They're going like 1,350 feet per second. But I know that they work in my little pea shooter. Knowledge, information, skills, things that are tangible, things that if you were stripped of every single tool that you have, what could you do? Well, if you were to acquire other tools or build other tools, or build tools to go make other tools, right? It's like the blacksmith that, builds, like, forges tools to be able to forge blades and other things like that. There's nothing that's going to replace that ever. There's no amount of gear in the world that is going to make us, super tactical, practical. Powder is listed in drams. Yeah, that is true. I got they're up here. I don't think my hold on. Ooh. Were they yet? No. Damn, these shells are so old that like the writing is worn off. But these are the 15 pellet, 3-inch. Yeah, 3-inch. I was gonna say 3.5. No, 3-inch SMB. And it says the dram equivalent is like literally like past the line. That's the funniest thing when it's like the dram is like here and the powder goes up like that much further. But these things are nasty, man. And these out of the Serbu Super Shorty, ooh, man, these things are so nasty, and they hurt. They hurt to shoot. My 19X finally got delivered to my local shop, Long Island Firearms and Gear. I don't know if you guys have ever been there, ever checked it out. I can't use 77 grain because my guns have a 1 in 9 or 1 in 8, bro. Just I'm cheap. Yeah, I'm old school. I rock 1 in 7 on almost everything, and I get it. I'm rocking, mostly 62 grain green tip and 55 grain XM193, and I realize that that's not optimal, but in all likelihood, if one of us had to use our firearms to defend ourselves, it would likely be within shouting distance of another individual. So it's not going to be that much of a difference. Now, yes, it is best to maximize the performance of different rounds, but, whatever. Who cares? Oh, also, pro tip, put 3 or 4 tracer rounds at the end of each magazine, so that way you can literally visibly see when you're running on empty, right? Or when you're, going to be empty. So that way, even in broad freaking daylight, when you're running your gun and you're chunka 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 chunka, you start to see 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're like, oh shit, dead trigger, I'm out. Like it tells your mind. I mean, that's a good way. Now you actually like really have to train to get there, because most of the times, like if I'm shooting with a can on in broad daylight, I may not even see that shit. Hold on, somebody was asking a question here. Yep. So the V Crown doesn't work in my 380s. I bought a bunch of that shit, and the way that I learned that it doesn't work in my 380s is by taking it to the range, and I had it loaded up for 2 weeks, and I have 2 little pocket 380s, and sometimes if I'm feeling froggy, I'll throw them in the old pockets. Keltec P3AT and a Ruger LCP, which literally stands for Little Crappy Pistol, and they just looked so dope and they looked so badass. And you look at all the commercials that they have, and you're like, damn, like this SIG ammo is like a performer. This shit is fucking awesome. I need it. And then you take it to the range, and that straight up flat cut hollow point, like it is like flat, like you could eat a bowl of cereal out of that shit. It looks like a bowl. Literally just jams like right on the feed ramp. And I was like, bro, the only way I could get rounds to actually feed reliably is by taking the slide and like slamming it forward, and it finally would ride up. But same thing, like if God forbid, like if I needed that in a pinch, and that's for very deep concealment, if you're carrying like a micro pocket 380, like that's a tool to fight your way to another tool. And then if you turn that 7-shot 380 into a 4-shot single shot, that you got to rack every single time, and you lose a live cartridge every time that you do that. Like, well, damn, like you're gonna be in some trouble. And that's why I always say keep a spare magazine on you, not because you may need to be some sort of tactical dude and dump so many rounds that you got to go through the first 20, and then you go through. Actually, I switched them up. Usually, this is my backup mag, and then this is the mag in my 43X. But because this was jamming into my hip like so much today because I had dress clothes on, it was just like digging in there. I was like, all right, F this. I'm going to make my 43X monstrously large, and then I'm going to put the 15 rounder as the backup mag, so I can fix that now. But I don't recommend, or I don't carry a backup magazine because I think I'm going to have to, reload or whatever, that I'm going to dump all 36 rounds in a self-defense encounter or anything like that. The reason that I say, it's a good idea to carry an extra magazine is because if your first one shits the bed, then what are you going to do? Like, if you end up in a situation where your base plate falls off your magazine and you got 15 rounds scattered on the ground and 1 round in your chamber, it's like, dang, you better make that shot count. Hold on, somebody said something else real quick. Hold on. Good shit. Good to hear it. I haven't purchased ammo since December 2019. No, January 2020. Well, I haven't purchased bulk ammo since January 2020. That was the last 1,000 rounds that I purchased. Was 1,000 rounds of 9mm for $179 shipped. Oh God, kills me. But Mark Tucker, motherfucker, best gun salesmen are the worst human beings. Clinton, Obama, Biden. Sales numbers begin to explode in '94. Yep. As soon as the sunsetting of the AWB hit, people ran, and that's when I was shit. I mean, I was a kid, so '94 to '04. Yeah, I mean, I was a kid. I was barely able to legally purchase firearms at that point. So, yeah, I think a couple years later, I bought my first rifle, and it was a Wasserton 63, an AK. Detective John Kimball is on a tequila kick. I like Winchester 55 grain and 193. Yeah, really any XM 193 is, good shit. You have to proof your ammo. Yep, true that. I can't see. Oh, yeah, this is important. So all y'all, I've been getting a lot of emails, DMs on Instagram and all that, that people are not getting notifications at all. A few people, even Adam Grubb, were unsubscribed from my channel. So if you could take a moment to just briefly go back and make sure that you are still subscribed, I would actually recommend searching DLD After Dark and then clicking on one of my videos, because one of the things that YouTube has started to do, and they've openly said this, that they do this. Oh yeah, I didn't light it up. It's here. It's back there. See? Oh, you got a YouTube play button too? Yeah, I just didn't put my other lights up. It was just a crunch for time and all that. Wanted to get Rob Pincus on. Fuck, what was I saying? Damn, I don't even remember. Oh, so subscribing. So one of the things that YouTube has been doing, and they've openly come out and said that they do this, is that if I have 3,000 subscribers, and out of those 3,000 subscribers, 10% are extremely actively engaged. If people don't click on your notifications for like a 21-day period or something, then after 21 or so days or a couple weeks, I don't remember exactly what the time period was, but if they see notifications but don't click on it and watch the video, then they stop sending them notifications. If they stop sending them notifications, if the person doesn't go and search and seek out the channel, then they will, after like, I don't know, a few weeks or whatever, they'll unsubscribe them from the channel. So you won't see anything. And then one day you'll come across one of my videos and be like, holy shit, Dark has streamed 75 times since I last saw one of his videos. So just make sure you're still subscribed. That's all. If you would be such a Giga Chad and go type in my channel name, DLD After Dark, into the search bar, click it, and then click one of my videos, that would be dope. If you could even go back into your notifications and click the notification, thumbs up and all that stuff, keep it running for a little bit, cast it onto a TV. There's so many things you can do to mess with the algorithm. 40 Smith & Wesson for the win. Too many choices. I think you're in the wrong building. I'm just kidding. Everyone, just please do me a favor and everyone put in chat how much you hate 40 Smith & Wesson. That's all I need you guys to do. It is so important that all of us come together as a community to announce how much we truly hate 40 Smith & Wesson, how much of a terrible waste of time and energy and effort and money and freaking lab coats that it was just to make that round. It's unfortunate. I'll actually go ahead and say something right now. Oh, wow. Whoops. What in the freaking world? 40 S and W. What a shitbags cartridge. Yuck. Ellie said, fuck 40. All my homies hate 40. Oh, that's great. I love you guys. Oh, that's dirty, Dark. I know. I'm sorry. It's a game, right? I'm just playing around. Obviously, I would not want to be on the business end of that 40. 100%. You got me on that, right? Like anybody that says they hate a caliber, instantly be like, really? How much you hate it? Would you like to be on this end of it? No, and I'm not saying threaten people. I'm just saying that have them cognizantly think about, well, yeah, I hate on that cartridge, but people say, oh, it's weak, it's underpowered, it won't go through a leather jacket, and oh, okay, then let's give this a shot. No pun intended. Somebody actually told me, this is when I had a Beretta 21A, the tip-up barrel 25 ACP, and they said, you got to get ball ammo. Don't get jacketed hollow points because they won't even expand. It'll be worthless. Get ball ammo. And even the 25 ACP ball ammo won't even go through a leather jacket. That's what they said, right? So me, as a kid, I'm like, well, shit. I mean, that sounds like airsoft then. So I go home. I load it up. I literally just tip up the barrel. And then I drop 125 ACP cartridge in it. Close it. And I get a shoebox and I stack up a whole fuck ton of books and, notebooks and papers. And I think there was like a picture frame in there. There was like a phone book and just a whole bunch of stuff. And there's a piece of wood, thick piece of like a half-inch pine in the bottom. And then at the very end, I was like, well, just to be safe, let's put another thick, one of those big like firearms books through it. I was like, I'm prepared to sacrifice that. And then I was about to just bust it off. This is in my home, okay, as like a 21-year-old. And I was like, well, let me like put something over it, right? Let me put a blanket over it. So let's make sure that it's safely. If you guys haven't safely shot inside of your own home, you're not living. I couldn't tell you how many times I've shot like 22 inside the house. Yeah, I mean, shit. I got a bag of stuff that Do you not bust off shots in your home? I'm just kidding. I don't recommend it. It's extremely dangerous. Don't do it. And it's the most fun you'll have with your pants on. Okay. And don't do it. It's bad. And I don't give advice. I don't give advice. Advice is bad. Somebody actually said, I don't give advice. And if you take advice from me, you're stealing. Oh, yeah. Look at this. Look at that. Ah! See if I can get some good lighting on that. Yeah, that's a good one right there. Look at that. That's what a jacketed hollow point turns into. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, so let's go through these 40 comments and then we'll come back to it. The XDS had that stupid grip safety. So unnecessary. I agree. The lemon squeezer safety, as people call it, or the grip safety, as some people call it, is stupid. Smith & Wesson stands for snapping wrists. Fuck 40. All my homies hate 40. I'm hoping to get my girl the 357 SIG. Well, thank God it's not a 40. This Giga Chad says 40 S&W. What a shitbags cartridge. Yuck. DLD After Dark. Why do big box stores always try and push Springfield XD on new gun owners? You know what? That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe it's profitability. I mean, so like let's give Glocks for an example. So depending on the volume that a gun shop is doing, they'll get like, let's say for every 10 Glocks they order, they get one free one. Or for every 7 Glocks you order, you get one free one. Now you can either choose to put that one free one at, full MSRP, or you can knock, or full retail or whatever, or your typical asking price, or take that and knock all of the price of them down, right? And everyone has different business practices. I'm not here to judge. You can do whatever you want. But it's my understanding that XDs are much more inexpensive and have much more markup. If somebody here has an FFL, if you could speak to that, that would be helpful. At least when I was, in the business, it's been some years. When I was in the business, they were much, much more affordable from the dealer's perspective. Carried a 40 Smith & Wesson for 5 years. We dumped it, went back to 9 mil. Me too, brother. I believe it or not, even though I talk shit about 40 all the time. Hey, Cain Velasquez used a 40. Yeah. So did Plexico. Your boy Dark used to carry a Glock 23. Tell me what caliber that is. Also used to carry a Glock 27. Tell me what caliber that is. Then I moved to a Glock 32. Tell me what caliber that is. Then I think I had a 31. No, not a 31. I almost bought a 31, but then I went back to a 19. And man, the Glock 32 that I had was so sick. It was custom Cerakoted gray frame, and the magazines were all coated. There's got to be a Glock mag around here somewhere. Let me just set this right here. Damn, how do I not have a motherfucking Glock magazine? Oh, here's one. So now this one is more dangerous. Okay, so you have to be very careful with these. But basically, I wanted like the mag and the frame to match, right? So they painted it gray and they matched it. So the base plate and everything was solid gray. It was solid gray here. Then it started to fade up and kind of smoke into like the very top being completely black, right? Because this is where the action is going over. So if you Cerakote a magazine or paint a magazine completely, then it's just going to totally tear up and eat your paint up there anyway. So you may as well make it look cool. So it kind of faded from black to, gray, and then the base plate and all that matched. But it was a flat, like a matte gray. And then I had Ford's Custom Gun Refinishing in Florida. Shout out to them. do a brushed chrome. It's kind of like it's a hard chrome, but it's got matte rounds. So the rounded parts are kind of frosty looking, and the flats are a little more shiny. Not like crazy shiny, but I have a 19 that's kind of, well, exactly the same thing. No 40 Smith & Wesson in my stable. Lots of 45 ACP and 9 milli. But yeah, so I did used to carry a 40 as well. Used to carry 357 SIG, and I just switched back to 9 mil. Most of it was understanding that 9 mil was at the time a lot cheaper, and also the technology of ammunition had come so far that it wasn't like you're not being like it's not losing a tremendous amount of ballistic efficiency by going down to 9 mil. Like you're not losing that much energy or that much, and what you gain in capacity is Plus, at the time, being a Glock shooter, it was like, man, if you got a 9 mil, you can throw a 33 round stick mag in your Glock. If you have a 40, this is before even the 22 rounder factory mags came out, and you gotta love those factory mags. Hold up. So this is, shout out to the Sickest Nick. Look up the Sickest Nick on Instagram. The Sickest Nick made this holster for me. It's a rig for a Glock 19 with the Swamp Fox red dot with a magazine carrier on the side. It's all connected and it bends and flexes really well. He made this for me in glowy blue basket weave, so you gotta love that. And although it's a large package that goes right over my large package, it's actually pretty comfortable. I wish it carried a hair lower, which I can manipulate that with these and clips and all that. But Glock started making, if you'll notice, this is not the size of a 33 round stick mag. This is a 24 round factory magazine from Glocka. See that? 24. And it's the Gen 5 style with the orange follower. Yeah, and it's great because it's something that if you throw in here, like the 21 round Magpul fits perfectly because it is like the same height as the 19, so it's great. The 24 rounder sticks out a little bit more, but having that in here is awesome. But if somebody was asking about holsters, now obviously I 100% recommend that you jump on HCM holsters. If you use my affiliate link, it'll help the channel out. I will actually go ahead and share that link with y'all. But if you're looking for maybe something a little more affordable, if you're trying to cut costs but still get a good product, then I would recommend checking out the Sickest Nick. Hit him up, tell him that Dark with DLD After Dark sent you, and yeah, give him a go. Hold up. Oh, I shouldn't do this as me. Hold on. All right, actually, oh well, who cares? So I'll go ahead and drop this in chat. So this is the JSD supply link. So you can use that plus code DARK, and you'll be able to get lowers, like 80% lowers for as cheap as $69 for a 26, $89 for a 19 V2, and I think $89 for a 17 V2 as well. But did you know that right now you can get, this is crazy, a single stack 43 80% for like $49 with my code right now? So if you use that link and use my code, you can go get a single stack Glock 43 80%er for like $49. I was like, damn, I'm about to use my own code and go get that shit. And then No. Oh, you got me. All right, hold on. I got another link I'm going to send here. Then we got the HCM holsters. Now, obviously, we talk about this a lot, but HCM holsters do have some of the highest quality kydex out there, period. They are nuts. They do like the soft multicam wrapping around holsters. They do, they did P80 Ralph's custom Louis Vuitton holster line. So he's got like a Supreme red Louis Vuitton kydex holsters. He's got the traditional print, like all Gucci ones, literal Gucci ones. They're sick, man, and they put a lot of attention to detail in that shit. It is nuts. So definitely check them out. And I got a Brownell's link. So if the I'll have to check it afterwards, Luigi. But if you guys are making any orders or purchases through Brownells, if you guys could be so kind as to use my Brownells link, that would be awesome. None of these cost you anything more. As a matter of fact, with the code, you actually save more money. Hold on, where is it? Hold on. Here it is. Boom. Yeah. So a couple folks had even said like, dude, I was about to push an order through, and I literally remembered at the last second that you had an affiliate link. So if you guys do want to support the channel, obviously that helps. And of course, if you don't want to support the channel, but you do want to get a discount, use code DARK. It's kind of a dick move, but it's whatever. No judgment either way. Also, you can use code DARK with Aegis to get 15% off of their gun cleaning kits, which are the shit. So I highly recommend that. But JC Supply is the only sponsor of this channel, and they're the shit. So with the impending doom that we may be expecting for our privately manufactured firearms, it would possibly be in some people's best interest if they were to go out and purchase some P80s just in case. I'm not saying to do it to skirt any laws or anything like that. The reason I'm saying this is because if something were to become restricted or limited, and there's a huge, massive wave of panic purchasing that's going to take place, then it may be a good idea to get to the front of the line, purchase some just to keep some. Like I got a bunch of the blue titanium ones just chilling, stacked up, and I've been fighting myself to not put this one together. I got a blue titanium is like my thing. I got a shitload of blue titanium 80s, not a shitload. I got a few of them, and Rich has a few. He's sent it out to me too, which I'm grateful for. Flying Rich, I love you. Use Flying Rich Supply and code DARK. He may give you a code DARK discount. How about that? But look, equipment isn't the most important thing, but it's a place to start, because without the equipment, you can't do the training, right? So I highly recommend all y'all get on that shit. And with that said, here's what I'll say: be kind, live a life of care, compassion, and contribution. Don't be a dickhead. Be kind. Be nice. That's well, why not? Why wouldn't you be nice, right? Live the life like that you want to live. Be kind. Be nice to people. And of course, we all know that the only thing that can conquer evil is good men that are skilled in violence. So make sure that you become as highly skilled in violence as you possibly can be. It's your responsibility. And of course, we know that the ATF are fuckheads, and keep that thing on you, and be safe and be dangerous and all that stuff. So with that, I'm out. I'll see y'all later. And for all you guys that have hit me up on email and Instagram and stuff like that, I'm sorry. Please don't take it personally. I just have not been able to like get my head above water, literally until I'm about to come on and stream, because I'm like running a business. So I wake up at 6:30, and now my daughter's been waking up at like 5:30. Jesus Christ. Code dark 40% off at FRS. What the hell's FRS? Don't end it. I'm still here. Keep it going. The code for Stinger missiles is Alpha Tango Foxtrot. Hold on. So when I wake up, my daughter really wakes me up by like, beating the shit out of me. And then I'll like get up and be with her until she goes to school. Then from the moment that she goes to school, I literally dive into work right away. And I'm running a business from like 8:30 till 5:30. I have to pick her up right at that point. 5:30, scoop her, come back. It's dinner time, bath time, bedtime. Then the moment I get her down, it's like, okay, now I can go get ready for the stream and all that. So like, I don't mean to ignore you guys. Sometimes I do get time during the day, and I'll jump on Instagram. But if you guys see, I haven't even been posting on Instagram, man. I don't. I at one point was like, posting at least once a day, and I don't mean to. So I'll do my best, guys. I appreciate it. FRT's still listed and selling. That's too funny. Hey, you know what? God love them, man. Freedom. That's code target. That's the funny thing, that flyingrich.com is literally just like a place to like click to where to find him. So like Rich isn't like professionally like selling anything. He just, went out and purchased a whole bunch of freedom. Flying Rich Supply. Yes. You get 90% off at Flying Rich Supply. Just know that he's going to adjust the price. So your $500 kit will be $1,000. Then he'll take 90% off after that, which actually would still be a great deal. So I'll let you guys work that out. Gerchat, what's wrong? What do you need help with, man? Great fun stream, Dark. Thank you. You're welcome. Gerchat, what's wrong? What help do you need, man? By the way, I got this knife at the most terrible place in the world, known as Wally World, Walmart, for like $5. It is a terrible 440. I think like a German 440 steel. But I mean, hey, it works. It's sharp. Gets the job done. And for $5 to get an inside the waistband blade is not bad. And I could literally just throw it, and like, I don't care if this shit breaks. I don't care. I'm just gonna beat the crap out of it. Use it as a work knife. All right, Gerchop, what's wrong? Come out in PLA. Says, have a good night. I must go to war with a 5-year-old tyrant now. Bro, I know that life. I live that life every day. We both got 5-year-olds, man, and good job. Talk to us, Gerchop. You okay, Duke? Yeah, I'm good, brother. Need a new life. Need a new file to break out. Oh, man. He needs an STL file. He keeps saying that 3D printing is stupid and senseless. Hopefully he's seen the way. And when he sees Bulligan Shooting Sports on this channel with people like Rob Pincus and Locked and Loaded Latinas, which are going to be on here on Thursday. Locked and Loaded Latinos on Thursday. I'll see y'all then. Love y'all. Peace. Use code DARK.